The observance of Undas this year has been generally peaceful and orderly according to the Philippine National Police or PNP. Security, however, remains tight at the Manila South Cemetery despite the lower number of visitors. Mon Hokson tells us why.
The observance of Undas this year has been peaceful overall, as an estimated 14 million Filipinos trooped to 4,600 cemeteries and columbariums across the country, according to the Philippine National Police. In Metro Manila, about 2 million visited the Manila North and South cemeteries, which peaked on November 1 at 6 p.m. No untoward incidents were recorded except for a few arrests made due to illegal drugs.
Peaceful siya with regards to andyan yung ating kapulisan aside from the police that is maintaining the security. Andyan din yung other agencies na tulong-tulong nagpapatupad sa mga dapat gampanan ng ating kasalukuyan na administration.
In Manila South Cemetery, the crowd volume has significantly decreased on November 2. However, the security remains tight to prevent those carrying illegal substances from slipping inside. The stepped-up security and inspection follows the arrest of a 19-year-old male on Thursday, who was found attempting to smuggle some packets of marijuana concealed inside an umbrella. The teenager, who was taken to police station later, admitted he only wanted to sell marijuana and was not planning to use one. The PNP says the tight security will remain until the observance of Undas is over. Police also continue to urge those who plan to visit the cemetery at a later time to still avoid bringing prohibited items such as knives and other bladed weapons, firearms, illegal drugs, and flammable materials, among others.
Doon pa lang makikita natin mahigpit yung security, talang tinitingnan, binubusisi natin yung mga bit-bit ng ating mga kababayan na pumapasok dito sa Manila South Cemetery.
The cemetery operations will return to normal on Saturday. Garbage trucks are also working round the clock to collect the trash left by the visitors.
Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
Authorities have urged cemetery operators to arrange for more frequent trash collections and for the public to bring their own garbage bags when visiting cemeteries during Undas. Here's why from Grace Casid.
Cleanup operations have begun at the Manila North Cemetery after over 1 million visitors arrived for the annual observance of Catholics Undas. A total of 14 truckloads of garbage have been collected inside the cemetery since Thursday. Cemetery operators have been reminding the public to bring their own garbage bags to take home their wastes when visiting the graveyard.
Kailangan magdala po sila ng garbage bag. Nasa ganun po, yung basura po nila, maiuwi po nila.
Local authorities also urge visitors to observe cleanliness and for cemetery operators to arrange for more frequent trash collections to prevent the accumulation of wastes in the cemeteries during Undas.
Oo, ang hindi lang talaga naman rin madisiplina yung pagtatapon ng basura. Nakita nyo naman parang divisoria. Hindi naman natin mapigilan yung iba kasi pag nalingat tayo, wala na, nagtatapon na ng basura.
Fewer visitors have arrived at the Manila North Cemetery in the second day of Undas. Most of them opt to visit at a later date to avoid the expected influx during October 31 and November 1.
Kasi po marami pong tao eh. Opo, kahapon. Kaya ngayon po kami pumunta kasi maluwang-luwang po ngayon.
Kasi mami, hindi masyadong maraming tao.
Kasi po pag marami na rin pong tao, siksikan talaga. Kaya 2 po kami pumunta.
Maraming tao pag November 1 eh. Ngayon lang talaga pag sinasaman. Oo, taon-taon kami ganun. Mahirap makipagsiksikan.
And although the crowd have visibly thinned, police seized a number of prohibited items. There are also lesser vendors milling outside the cemetery than yesterday. The Blumentritt Street near the Manila North Cemetery is now open to motorists after it was closed down in preparation for Undas. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue.
The rescue teams of UNTV News were also deployed in various cemeteries during Undas. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
The UNTV News and Rescue Team stationed at various memorial parks in cities and provinces during Undas were able to extend first aid and other services to cemetery goers. Since November 1, more than 150 individuals were assisted by the UNTV rescue teams after they complained of dizziness due to heat and exhaustion when visiting the Himlayan Tanawan, Batangas and the Centennial Park Cemetery in Santa Rosa, Laguna. Most of them availed the free blood pressure checkup while others were given basic wound cleaning service after sustaining cuts when they fell.
Mataas daw eh. Mataas. Okay naman. Ayos. Very good. Nakakatulong sa kapwa.
Very nice. Ang masasabi ko, talagang maganda ang serbisyo dito at nakakatulong kayo.
Nanganakbo siya eh. Nung pagtakbo niya, natalapid lang dun sa damo. Yun, patama sa Tinayo ko pag ko yun, nakakita ko nadugo na kaya dinala namin dito. Ayos naman po, success. Good job. Salamat po.
30 persons, mostly senior citizens, visiting the municipal cemetery in Cavite and Bulacan also availed the free services offered by the UNTV Rescue. UNTV rescue teams were also stationed at the Manila North and South cemeteries and were able to provide blood pressure checkups to several individuals. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
In other news, President Rodrigo Duterte is set to order the dismissal of 3 cadets from the Philippine National Police Academy who were accused of forcing 2 freshmen to perform oral sex. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
3 cadets from the Philippine National Police Academy who are facing a sexual harassment complaint are facing imminent expulsion for their behavior. Speaking at the situation briefing in typhoon-hit Isabela, President Rodrigo Duterte said he does not approve of hazing and he is inclined to approve the dismissal of these cadets once their case reaches his desk. Duterte added that hazing practices, especially lewd acts, has no place in the military and police institutions.
They will be dismissed. I will dismiss them. I have no place for people. You know, you give me a soldier from the PMA or from the PNPA. Nandoon tapos you rob them of his dignity. You dehumanize him. And he goes out feeling tapos maging official ya, maging general. Tapos gawain mo ng ganon, pakainin mo ng...
The incident, which occurred last October 6, involves 3 upperclassmen who allegedly ordered 2 plebes to perform oral sex as punishment. The 2 freshman cadets allegedly complained about the incident to the PNPA authorities. The chief executive also warned the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police against practicing hazing in students.
I don't need that kind of policeman. Not for me during my time in my generation, for the next generation of Filipinos. You do not train a soldier or a policeman who goes out of the academy with a trauma. It's a deep psychological insult yan and it stays in the head.
Meanwhile, as the Catholic devotees commemorated their All Saints' Day on November 1, Duterte jokingly questioned this kind of belief.
Bakit naman bagay itong talaga itong mga Katolikong po? Bakit may All Souls Day tapos may All Saints Day? Gusto, hindi natin alaman yung mga santo na sino yung mga mga lasinggo. Dito na lang kayo. I'll give you isang patron para hindi na kayo magpasyal. Get hold of a picture of mine. Yan lang ilagay niya sa altar. Santo Rodrigo.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue.
Overseas Filipino worker Jennifer Dalquez has finally come home after being spared from the death row. She was imprisoned in the UAE for almost 4 years after being arrested and charged of murdering her employer. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Tight hugs and kisses greeted Jennifer Dalquez as her parents welcomed her back home after almost 4 years of being imprisoned in Abu Dhabi. Her mother Alicia was emotional as she expressed her gratitude to those who helped her daughter be free.
Ilang taon din naming hinintay ito at ngayon na nandito na siya. Salamat, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Sa inyong lahat na sumuporta na magdasal upang hindi matuloy ang hatol na kamatayan sa aming anak.
Jennifer was imprisoned after being charged of murdering her employer in 2014. She was sentenced to death for committing the crime. But Jennifer said she just defended herself when her employer tried to rape her. The Court of Appeals in Al Ain acquitted her of murder and declared innocent on June 19, 2017. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Department of Labor and Employment helped her come home.
Nagpapasalamat din po kami sa OWA sa tulong nila kay Ms. Dalquez. Doon po sa mga financial assistance at saka doon po sa mga livelihood na ibinigay po nila.
Abril pa lang po ay nagpunta po si Secretary Silvestre Bello III sa Middle East. Nakausap po niya yung mga ministers po doon at ambassador. At sinabi po niya na nagbigay po siya ng babala na kung meron pa po na isang OFW na mabibitay ay ititigil niya po yung pagde-deploy ng Pilipino sa Middle East. Yan po ay dulot po na nangyari po kay Jennifer.
Jennifer thanked President Duterte and other groups who helped her get acquitted and come home.
At batid po ng Embahada ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po sa inyo na hindi kayo nagsama na tumulong sa akin na ipalabas sa bilangguan. At sa mga kapatid ko dyan, nanay, tatay, lolo at lolo, salamat po sa mga dasal niyo sa akin. Pinagdasal niya ako na makalaya sa bilangguan. Tapos puso ko ako nagpapasalamat.
The Department of Foreign Affairs gave Jennifer 100,000 pesos as financial assistance. Jennifer is set to travel to General Santos City with her parents. Meanwhile, more than 80 undocumented OFWs from the UAE were able to go back to the Philippines after months of being laid off from their job. They availed of the amnesty program of the government to be able to come home. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Gowns made by a Filipino designer will have the time in the spotlight in the 67th edition of the Miss Universe pageant set to be held in Thailand this December. Let's find out why from Robbie Di Guzman.
The preparations for the upcoming Grand Coronation Night of the Miss Universe 2018 is now in full swing, and a Filipino is playing a part in making it a success. Filipino-American fashion designer Kristen Regalado has been dressing local and international pageant contestants in the past 10 years. Among her long list of clientele is one of the world's longest-running beauty pageants, the Miss Universe. Her team played an important part in dressing its candidates in evening gowns and national costumes for many years. On the pageant night, Miss Iceland Katrin Leia Elenudotir and Miss Mauritius Varya Raghubar Singh will be wearing national costumes created by Regalado.
Well, this year is very special for me. I've been dressing more than 1,000 title holders in the past 10 years, so this is my 10th year anniversary. And this year actually is Miss Universe Fever. So I'm dressing 2 Miss Universe delegates this year.
She is amongst the best fashion designers. She's an icon in the fashion world. And for her to design my final dress, which is in the most important day of my life, thank you so much, Kirsten, for designing my beautiful dress. And I would say, again, it's a surprise. I'm so mesmerized I was so mesmerized when I saw my dress. And I'm sure on the stage, Mauritius will rock with the Filipino design.
Regalado says she draws inspiration from nature when designing gowns for her clients.
So I work with nature. I believe that God is our original fashion designer. It's just the beauty around us.
The Filipino fashion designer who has been residing in Florida says the beauty queens she dressed become part of her family. Miss Mauritius supranational Anushka King agreed with Regulado's statements.
It's like a coach, a friend, and the most of which is bringing us to Miami for a visit, for a tour, and to
Which
make
is the best part.
yes.
Some of Regulado's creations will be showcased during the coronation night of 67th Miss Universe on December 17th in Thailand. Robbie de Guzman, UNTV News and Rescue.
The 10 peso minimum fare in jeepney and additional fare in bus have taken effect today. Drivers, however, were still not able to implement the said increase. Kathy Maglalang will tell us why.
Almost every week, spouses Dante and Lydia travel from San Jose and Nueva Ecija to Cubao and Quezon City. They used to pay 260 pesos each for an aircon bus trip. But starting today, their fare is 283 pesos each. According to the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, the fare hike in public buses and jeepneys took effect today. The increase covers Metro Manila and the South and Central Luzon. The minimum fare applied to jeepneys is 10 pesos, 11 pesos for ordinary buses and 13 pesos for air-conditioned buses. An additional 1 peso and 70 centavos for every succeeding kilometer. Since today is a holiday, the bus and jeepney drivers and operators can avail of the fare matrix guide on Monday. According to the Memorandum Circular 2018-0761 of the LTFRB, drivers cannot implement the fare hike if they don't have the new fare matrix guide. The fare matrix guide serves as the basis of the passengers on how much they have to pay for a ride going to a particular place. This is why some jeepney drivers in Quezon City still accept 9 peso minimum fare from the passengers. They will not implement the fare hike without the fare matrix guide because of fear of getting caught by the LTFRB and be meted out a penalty of 5,000 pesos if apprehended. The bus companies in Cubao also said that they will not implement the fare increase without the copy of the fare matrix guide.
Ni-standby muna namin ang pagtaas ng pamasahe because we are waiting for the receipt from the LTFRB. Meron kami advisory para makita ng mga pasero na para in case na mapatupad yung pagtaas pamasahe, hindi na sila ma-caught by surprise. So, ngayon tinanggal namin kasi nga as far as the operation is concerned, baka mamaya kami pa ang makasuhan. So, yun ang aming preemptive na ginawa.
Meanwhile, jeepney driver Daniel Villegas is thankful for the increase. He said the increase is a huge help to his family, especially because 2 out of his 3 children are going to school. He shared that he used to earn 800 pesos but is now only taking home 500 pesos when the price of diesel increased.
Siyempre, kailangan lumagpas ka rin sa 500 kasi pag hindi ka naman lumagpas sa 500, kapos naman kami sa budget sa bahay.
Meanwhile, some commuters have different views on the fare hike.
Okay naman to kasi sa mga driver naman, makakatulong sa mga driver.
Kakadagdag lang ng piso tapos dagdag na naman. Siyempre, ang tataas ng bilihin tapos dagdag na naman. Siyempre, para sa aming commuter, mahirap para sa amin.
Okay lang sa amin yun, basta magandang serbisyo.
Hindi lahat ng pasahero, okay yan. Paano yung iba na naghihigpit ng sintron? Saka talagang yung sweldo nila, tama lang sa isahod nila sa kinikita para sa pamilya nila.
Kathy Maglalang, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, another round of fuel price cut is expected next week following a slump in oil prices in the world market. Oil industry players estimate that the price of gasoline and diesel will go down by 70 centavos per liter. No movement was seen for kerosene prices. If it pushes through, this will be the 4th consecutive week of oil price adjustments. The Department of Labor and Employment is set to announce on Monday the final amount of the minimum wage increase to be implemented in the National Capital Region. Labor groups, meanwhile, continue to hope that the wage hike will be more than 25 pesos. Rosalie Cos explains why.
Jorly Son has been working as a finishing mason and a construction worker for nearly 6 years now. He earns minimum wage, which they use to budget, along with his wife's salary as catering service worker for their daily expenses and schooling of their daughter, who is in elementary school.
Dapat Pilipino magtipid. Huwag magano sa ng pera kasi pinapaguran yung pera.
Yung iba kasi, pag may pera, kung saan na pumupunta, doon na sa inuman, sayang. Kasi pinagpaguran yun eh. Kaya yung iba naman, maluho, kung bili ng bili, mga gamit, kung saan na pupunta. Kaya kahit maliit man lang o malaki, magtitipid. Kasi pinagkaloob ng Diyos yan na mag-ipon tayo ng pera kahit maliit man lang.
Jorly is anticipating the time when his salary will be increased following reports on a 25 peso daily wage hike for private workers in Metro Manila. However, the Associated Labor Unions Trade Union Congress of the Philippines was dismayed over the pending wage increase, saying this is too low compared to their initial request of 344 pesos a day. But the Malacanang and the Department of Labor and Employment clarified that the wage order draft of the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board will still be reviewed by the National Wages and Productivity Commission. The labor group plans to appeal to President Duterte to increase the pay hike to sustain the needs of the Filipino employees.
Sana, bago makarating sa Lunes at mag-anunsyo yung DOLE, baguhin ng Pangulong Duterte at dagdagan niya yung 25 pesos wage increase na yan.
The group is also open to have a dialogue with the President about the issue.
Parang nilalaro lang yung kapalaran ng mga minimum wage earners at kung ibibigay o hindi ibibigay, official man yan o non-official, dapat substantial yung wage increase na ibigay sa kanila dahil ang laki na po ng ibinagsak ng purchasing power ng minimum wage.
Malacanang, meanwhile, has assured the government will weigh in on the effect of wage hike not only to the employees and employers, but also to the Philippine economy. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Electricity is still out in the majority of Isabela after Typhoon Rosita barreled through the province. Joanano tells us why.
Local electric cooperatives in Isabela have begun restoring power lines, poles, and transmitters that were damaged and toppled when Typhoon Rosita battered the province on Tuesday. According to Isabela Governor Faustino D., 40% of power supply in northern Isabela has been restored so far, and it might take 15 days before the Isabela Electric Company would be able to restore power in the entire province.
Talagang ang badly hit itong southern Isabela. Ito medyo mahirapan tayo. Yung sa 2nd Division area ng 1st and 2nd District, I think hanggang November 5 ma-re-restored. Pero 15 days naman dito sa kabila. Sana mas mapaaga, mas okay.
While the power is still out, Ann Clemente, a resident of Santiago, Isabela, will meantime use an inverter connected to a motorcycle battery to light up part of their household and charge their mobile phones.
Sobrang init po paggabi itong mga bata nagre-reklamo, kaya lumabas na po kami dito, open na po lahat yung bintana. Dati po kasi sa loob po kami electric fan. Napakahirap po.
Some business owners are also using generators to power up their establishments as activities in the province slowly return to normal. Meanwhile, local town officials in Isabela continue to assess the damages left by the typhoon. They are also preparing to distribute financial assistance to residents whose houses were badly affected by the storm.
Ang ibang mga local ay meron na kanilang mga initiatives na meron magbibigay ng pagka-totally blown na bahay, nasa 5,000, yung partially is 2,000. Pero according naman sa side ng DSWD, mas malaki yata yung maibibigay nila dun sa mga totally blown saka partially damaged.
Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Santiago, Isabela.
Meanwhile, the local government of Baler is looking to expedite efforts to relocate residents, especially those living in the danger zones. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
Ellen Joy Paslon and her family have been residing by the coast of Baler in Aurora for 9 years now. Her family is among those who fled their homes when Typhoon Rosita battered several provinces in Luzon on Tuesday. Helen admits she never feels at ease whenever a strong storm threatens to pummel their town.
Lumaki ang alon, tapos pinasok yung bahay namin, nasisira, tapos ang hangin pa, nasira lahat ng mga bubong namin. Kinuha kami ng rescuer.
Helen wants her 4 children to be safe, so she readily agreed to the local government's proposal to relocate them to a safer ground.
Opo, talaga po gusto po namin yan kasi nag-ano po kami dito. Yung parang pamilya lang po ang nagpatira namin dito, tapos nagbayad kami ng 200 sa lupa. buwan-buwan.
According to Baler Local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, they have already initiated relocation efforts for families living in danger zones, including the coastal area.
Yung iba po naman na may kakayanan sa buhay, nakabili na po sila. Pero yung mismong nasa gilid po ng dagat, sa kasalukuyan nga po ay may 250 common settler na inilipat na doon sa Sitio Chetan, Calabonan, Baler, Aurora.
A relocation site has been identified and local officials are looking to expedite the effort despite objections from several residents.
Yung iba po ay mayroong pang pagtanggi sapagkat dyan po sila nabubuhay.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Baler, Aurora.
The Philippine government provides initial assistance to Filipinos affected by Typhoon U2 in Saipan. The storm lashed the island last October 24, but some Filipinos still remain in temporary shelters until now. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The Department of Foreign Affairs distributed financial assistance to Filipinos affected by the recent Typhoon U2 in Saipan. Initially, the Philippine government gave $50 each to 400 recipients. Meanwhile, 200 more typhoon victims each received the same amount donated by a private company. The DFA calls on families to send one representative each as the fund is limited.
$50 is very modest, but I think it's a good start to help our kababayan, especially those most affected. That's why we appeal in our notice, sana yung one per family and sana yung talagang in need.
Vallespin said they were keeping the DFA office in Manila updated about the situation since the typhoon struck the island on October 24. However, the assistance have been delayed for days because the requests needed to go through proper government procedures.
You know, our government is not like a private citizen foundation. Ako, philanthropist ako, tomorrow go there. We have the bureaucracy. Okay, so that's why it took a while.
Some Filipinos still remain in temporary shelters until now because the damage to their houses is beyond repair. Still, they were grateful to the assistance they received from the government and concerned groups.
Ano binibigay?
$50 cash.
Are you okay for $50?
Opo.
Ang proseso ng DFA okay sana dahil nagbigay. Pero ang proseso mabagal.
Sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas, maraming salamat po. Kaya inaasikaso naman kami dito.
By mid of November, the DFA will return to continue the distribution of financial help. There are around 16,000 Filipinos living in Saipan. Around 6,000 of them are overseas Filipino workers. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue.